For the last week, I used an original iPhone SE. It taught me a lot about who I am and what drives me to use my phone. And it started to make me think, why exactly are these phones so addictive? So here are the rules. Over the next week, the only phone that I can use is this phone right here, an iPhone SE, the original one that Apple released back in 2016. I'm going to turn my iPhone 13 Pro off, throw that into a drawer, and I won't be able to touch that until the end of the 7th day. I think this is going to be great for me. I think I'm going to use my phone a lot less, and I'm thinking that this phone may be the one that I stick with for an extended period of time. On the first day, I made a video talking about how amazing the iPhone SE was. Overall, I've really enjoyed not using this phone because I haven't been using it at all. After the first day of using it, I used my phone for 22 minutes today. That's it. I used this phone for 22 minutes. On a neurological level, technology addiction operates similarly to chemical addictions, in that the reward your brain is expecting releases dopamine and other feel-good chemicals. This reward can be felt by winning a level in a video game or by simply getting likes on a picture on Instagram. And this dopamine rush is extremely addictive. Day 2, the phone's been awesome. I've loved my experience so far. You saw my first video, raving reviews. It's still enjoyable. I'm not using my phone very much. It's not the fact that it's such a marvelous phone, because it really isn't quite marvelous. It's actually quite bad. It lags a lot, especially when it gets below a certain battery percentage, and it will just randomly shut off. You know, we've been so spoiled by these modern phones that everything I say 5 years ago sounds ridiculous, but in modern day times, it's not ridiculous. It's not the most attractive phone to use, but it's a really enjoyable phone to not use, and it's super duper reliable. I'm interested to see how the next couple days have gone, because it's easy to use it right now, but you know, when you get into the middle of it, 3, 4, 5 days in, that's when the challenge always gets a lot harder, because the honeymoon period normally ends. Days 3 through 5 were more of the same, and I learned that I was able to leave my phone at home sometimes because I don't always need it on me. I know it seems silly, but it took this challenge for me to kind of learn that I don't need to have it on me all the time. I was able to go for walks without my headphones and without my phone, and it was extremely enjoyable. So it is nearing the end of day 6 here, and I've noticed that the front camera, rear camera, they're okay. Comparing it to an iPhone 13 Pro though, they obviously completely suck compared to that, and comparing it to this camera, they completely suck. But other than that, it's been such a great experience so far. I really enjoyed using the phone. I can use this phone. I can use all the apps I want to use on it. I'm using Google Docs for some of the notes I've taken for this video. It's remarkable. I mean, it's small and it fits in your pocket so easy. Yeah, the cameras aren't great, but if it's bright enough, or I could just always use my wife's phone, or I can always use this camera here, I like it. I've really enjoyed the experience, and I can all but guarantee that I'm going to be using this phone going forward. But somebody left a comment on my previous video that kind of makes me a little nervous with regards to the LTE support. In a way, the smartphone is the ultimate minimalist device. It is 1,000 different items all caked into one. But minimalism is also about valuing people over things. In a study done back in May of 2021 by people over at Yarrow University, they found a lot of negative things that come with using your smartphone too much. They found that excessive smartphone usage could be associated with difficulties in cognitive, emotional regulation, impulsivity, impaired cognitive function, addiction to social networking, shyness, and low self-esteem. On top of this, they found a lot of physical negative side effects that can come along with overusing your smartphone. Along with those, it is sleep problems, reduced physical fitness, unhealthy eating habits, weight problems, pain and migraines, reduced cognitive control, and changes in the brain's gray matter volume. Suffice to say that using your phone too much literally it's amazing reading this out loud, because it is unbelievable to see just how many things can go wrong if you use your smartphone too much. If this isn't your wake-up call, I really don't know what is. It's the end of the week, day 7, and what a remarkable journey. I really truly enjoyed using this phone. I feel like it's been not a lifesaver, but really enjoyable. I've loved every little bit of it. The phone dying has been annoying, but battery life is one of those things that matters if you're out of the house a lot. I work from home, so that's not really a big deal for me, so I'm always sort of by an outlet. But I think that it's been a great experiment. This design is very emblematic of the sort of end of the Steve Jobs era. And I think it's kind of interesting, because I think he was somebody who didn't really use phones very much, or iPhones very much, or tablets very much. I don't know, maybe there's something to it, because he's the guy who invented the phone, so maybe we could learn a little bit from him. So I just looked it up, and interestingly enough, Steve Jobs did use the phone. Obviously, I probably should have realized that, but he didn't let his kids use iPhones or tablets in the home. He didn't let them use iPhones or iPads. And I think that that's really remarkable that the inventor of them didn't even let his own kids use them. So if he didn't let his own kids use them, maybe there's something to that for why we shouldn't use them. So obviously there's an elephant in the room, and it's this hoodie. I've never really worn this color hoodie on camera before. I hope you guys like it. I hope it doesn't really offend you too much. So here we are a few days after this challenge has ended, and I'm still using this. This still has my SIM card in it. I've been using it now for 10 or 11 days. Full time. This is the phone that I use. I turned my iPhone 13 Pro back on just to see if I had missed anything. I haven't missed anything. I've been able to check emails on my computer. I've been able to check emails on this phone. I've been able to get all my text messages, all my iMessages, every single Facebook notification, Messenger notification that I'd want to flip stuff with, and every single phone call has gone through. Extremely reliable. There were some moments where the phone would shut off, as mentioned earlier. It really wasn't too bad, but I just had to learn sort of how to live with this phone. And basically, whenever I was sitting down, the phone probably just needed to be on a charger because it died really quick, even if I was only using it for less than an hour every single day. For example, you would go to bed with it having 25% battery, and you'd wake up with it having either 1% or 0%. And I noticed when this thing went into low power mode, it was more or less unusable. It just kind of stopped. It didn't stop working, but it was really laggy and it was hard to click buttons. But for now, this is the phone that I'm going to be using for the foreseeable future. For the entire week, every single day, I averaged way less than an hour, closer to 30 to 45 minutes of just using my phone, which was excellent. What a great reprieve. I ran a bunch. I was able to do a bunch of stuff. I actually hurt myself running, which kind of sucks, but I was able to do a lot of different things that I've been wanting to do because it wasn't on my phone, and I feel like I definitely developed a much better relationship with my phone. I feel comfortable going back to my 13 Pro, but I'm going to stick with this phone because I think the physical barrier that's created is very, very powerful, and I think I need that in my life. At least for now, it helps. Unfortunately, this phone is going to be losing LTE support if you live out in the country, which is where I live. So I'm going to have to stop using it, especially once Apple releases iOS 16 and no longer supporting iOS 15 with security patches. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm a little bit nervous, kind of, maybe going back to the iPhone 13 Pro because it's such a powerful and attractive device that I know I'm going to want to use it. I know I'm going to be inclined to use it. So if you have any suggestions on phones that I could go to that would be a good alternative, it needs to be an iPhone. It needs to be supported by the latest generation, and it needs to have modern day features. I need to be able to access my email, phone calls, text messages, photos, stuff like that. I need all of those things. This phone was good for that, but it's losing support with iOS 16, and then it's losing LTE support, which it won't make it unusable, but it'll make it a lot harder to use, at least where I live. I was thinking potentially the iPhone SE2, but I don't know. That phone is pretty big. It's like a 4.7-inch screen, so it's still a somewhat attractive phone to use, even if it's one of their worst phones. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. Any suggestions are greatly appreciated, and I appreciate you guys watching the video. I will see you in the next one. Yes, I shaved my head bald. My wife and I were cutting my hair because my wife cuts my hair because I'm too cheap to go spend 20 bucks at Great Clips, and she did a great job. I walked into the mirror and I was like, man, my hair looks like crap. Can you cut a little shorter here? She goes, okay, I can cut it shorter here. She cut it again, go back into the mirror, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my hair looks terrible right now. And I'm like, just go to the lowest setting and cut it all off. I don't care. I'm just going to be bald or very buzzed from now on. So I wanted you guys to think about my new look. This is what I got. I can't really grow a beard. I'm not very much of a man. Well, I can't grow a beard here. I can grow a beard everywhere else. So let me know what you guys think about the new haircut, or new hairdo or lack thereof hairdo. So let me know what you guys think about the new hairdo or lack thereof hairdo. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again for watching. And for the record, I'm only 27 years old. I just have a really stressful life. Or just bad genetics. All right, peace out.